In the quiet town of Pinellas Park, Florida, a tragic love triangle unfolded, leaving a trail of sorrow and despair in its wake. The central figures in this heart-wrenching drama were Rachel Wade, Sarah Ludeman, and Joshua Camacho. Rachel and Joshua had once shared a deep connection, but their romance took a dark turn as Joshua started dating Sarah. Rachel's jealousy and obsession with Joshua began to consume her, creating a toxic atmosphere that would inevitably lead to a deadly clash. On April 15, 2009, emotions reached a boiling point as Rachel and Sarah found themselves entangled in a heated confrontation. In a moment of passion and anger, Rachel made a fateful decision, stabbing Sarah. The tragic outcome was Sarah's untimely death, an event that would forever scar the lives of all involved, leaving a community in shock and mourning the devastating consequences of this ill-fated love triangle. Rachel, unaware of Sarah's death from her stabbing, alleged that Josh had physically assaulted her in the past and Josh's brother had threatened her as well. She maintained that the knife was for self-defense as she felt threatened by Sarah, who had purportedly threatened her life. Despite her intense love for Joshua, Rachel quickly portrayed herself as a victim, aiming to cast both Joshua, the man she had stabbed Sarah for, and his entire family under the bus in a bid to protect herself.
Javier's house. Why did you have it with you?
Yes, they said that they were going to find my car and follow me, and she threatened to kill me.
So are you telling me that you had it for some form of protection?
Yeah, because I know they're going to jump me. I know Josh's family. Josh has hit me before. Josh's brother said.
She admitted that the knife was under the car's seat when she argued with Josh. When asked if someone had requested her to put the knife away, Rachel said no. She clarified that Javier had inquired about the knife, which she had as a means of defending herself from Josh.
They pull up, Sarah gets out, you go out to the street where she's at, okay? Because she's right in front of the car, okay? To the front of her car.
She claimed that she had a confrontation with Sarah where she thought the knife would scare them away, but instead, she claimed that both Sarah and Josh just started to come after her and attack her.
Encountered her.
She just started screaming at me, and she laughed at me and said I wasn't going to do anything, and then she realized that I had a knife, and she kind of backed up, and then she started swinging on me anyways, and I just...
When you say she started swinging on you, what was she doing?
She started punching me away.
Flailing at you?
Yeah.
Punching?
Rachel asserted that Sarah initially appeared surprised to see the knife in her hand, but then allegedly punched her in the face. She further claimed that Janet and other girls arrived, taunting her and expressing wishes that she would use the knife on Sarah. It's worth mentioning that despite Rachel's allegations of Sarah punching her during the confrontation, no bruises were visible on her face when her mugshot was taken on the same night.
And I really did not mean to stab her. I'm not going to kill somebody.
Fat bitch, and I'm gonna fucking kill you. I swear on my life. Watch out your fucking window when I get off work tonight, you dumb bitch.
Rachel further claims that when Sarah was hitting her, she tried to fight back, and in the heat of the moment, she unknowingly stabbed her. She claimed that she had no intentions of killing her, and it was a genuine act of self-defense. Additionally, it's important to mention that Rachel did express her anger towards Sarah and made death threats during a phone conversation they had.
Show me how you were holding it, okay? But now, if I'm Sarah and I'm in front of you, what were you doing with the knife? How did you
I had
have
it out to the side, and she started swinging on me, and then when I went to put my hands out, she was swinging on me, and I tried to defend myself from her, and then Janet came at me from the side.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I did not mean to stab.
When the interrogation officer asked Rachel about the stabbing, she claimed that she had the knife on the side when Sarah started coming towards her and started swinging. She also claimed that she saw coming to attack her from the side. And during this, she stabbed Sarah once.
After that was done, and I know you said you were being dragged around by Janet and whatnot, when you went back up to the house, what did you do with the knife once you had it?
I threw it.
Where?
Towards the neighbor's house.
If you're facing Javier's house to the left side, just...
The interrogation officer asked Rachel about the knife. She claimed that she threw it toward Javier's house. She claimed that she just threw the knife and did not know where it landed. After this, she went on and sat on the porch.
Take care of things like this, to make sure things like this don't happen.
Well, I understand that. That's overall the police's job, but my specific job, you know what it is? Well, that's part of it. You're correct. My real title is, okay?
The interrogation asked Rachel about his job. Rachel partially described it, but the title of the officer was homicide detective. A homicide detective is a law enforcement officer responsible for investigating and solving cases of homicide, which involve the unlawful killing of another person. At this moment, it seems fair to assume that Rachel is not aware of this.
The serious nature of her injuries, okay? She was stabbed, all right? She was stabbed twice, because before I came here to talk to you, I went down and saw her at the hospital, okay? She's stabbed twice in the chest, and she has no other injuries on her whatsoever.
Before the interrogation officer's arrival, he visited the hospital to assess the victim's condition. At the hospital, it was revealed that the victim had been stabbed twice in the chest, not once, like Rachel claimed, and she had no other injuries. The officer asked why she confronted 3 people on the street instead of going inside the home and calling the police. Rachel claims that she had no intentions whatsoever of stabbing Sarah. She claimed that she had a good life, she had a job, her own house, and a car. She told Josh that she was done and she just wanted it to end. She called one of her friends to pick her up, but her friend said to her that leaving the car was not a good idea, as they might do something to it, but Rachel claims that she was unbothered and just wanted to leave.
I didn't change shirts.
Well, what
She
you
ripped
had
off
on?
my other shirt. Janet ripped off my shirt.
Okay, so that got ripped off? All right.
Yeah, but I did not want to
The
have
necklace
her.
you have, is that yours?
Yeah.
Does that belong to you?
Yeah.
Did you see if Sarah was wearing a necklace at the time?
The interrogating officer asks Rachel about her shirt and why she decided to change it. Rachel quickly responds, explaining that Janet ripped her shirt, leaving her no choice but to switch to another one. The officer then notices the necklace around Rachel's neck and asks if it's hers. Rachel claims that the necklace was hers. Next, the officer inquires if Rachel took anything from Sarah, to which Rachel firmly denies taking anything from her. She goes on to mention that she heard there were rings in her car, but insists she had no idea they were there. She suggests that Janet may have placed them there, considering Janet's presence in her car.
You need to understand, Rachel, okay? When I was down at the hospital, okay, I saw where she was stabbed at. Okay, it looks like she has 2 stab wounds, all right? The next piece of information that you need to know is that she is dead.
The officer then proceeded to inform Rachel that he had visited the hospital to check on Sarah and discovered that she had been stabbed twice. He revealed that Sarah hadn't survived the attack. Rachel, overcome with grief, began to break down, her tears flowing uncontrollably. Rachel's tears streamed down her face as she sobbed uncontrollably. Her voice quivered as she tried to explain that she only did this because they were following her all round. The interrogation officers, with a face filled with a mix of sympathy and disbelief, pathetically asked, "All this over Josh?" Rachel claims that all she wanted was for them to leave her alone and not follow her anymore. The officer replies that she is not going to follow you anymore because she is dead. The weight of his words settled in, and Rachel's grief intensified as the realization hit her. She buried her face in her hands, crying even harder.
I should have just stayed home, but every time I call the cops, they don't do anything. They don't. They tell me that they have to have physical proof of them injuring me or something.
Well, here's
Rachel, while crying uncontrollably, then went on to blame the police and claimed that whenever she tried to call the police, they would just ignore her because of the lack of evidence of physical harm. The interrogation officer replies that they have to work with what the law says.
you brought a knife with you for a reason.
Because they said they were going to follow me to my
Okay,
apartment.
but you also said that you had had enough of it, and when I asked you why you just didn't run into the house when they come pulling up in a van, your response to me was,
The trial of Rachel Wade commenced on July 20th, 2010, drawing significant media attention and public interest. The prosecution's case was built on a substantial body of evidence that depicted Rachel as the aggressor in a contentious romantic entanglement. They presented numerous instances of Rachel threatening Sarah through various digital channels such as social media, text messages, and voice messages. Furthermore, the prosecution introduced several key witnesses who supported their case. Joshua Camacho, Janet Camacho, an unnamed friend, and Dustin Grimes were among those who testified on behalf of the prosecution. Their testimonies provided a chilling account of the events leading up to Sarah Ludman's tragic demise. The witnesses shared what Rachel did and said, which supported the prosecution's claim that she acted aggressively and threateningly. Throughout the trial, Rachel Wade vigorously countered these allegations, maintaining her innocence and presenting an alternative narrative. However, the weight of the evidence and the testimony of the witnesses presented a significant challenge to her defense.